Receive a dog.
Yes, I have no choice. The people of Israel need salvations. They need to reckon with the people of soldiers who were killed coming to us. How many mothers my heart is calling to, how much we strengthen the country with determination. I promised a mother, she asked me, do you promise me that the resurrection of the dead will not be long? I told her, I promise you, and so it will be.
How can a priest be surprised
we're on
by
the verge
this?
of redemption. We are ready and preparing.
We
Everyone
need
get ready for
bricks.
redemption. Guys, we need to get a grip. We need to understand we are the opening of redemption. We are at the end of the exile. You know, redemption, the Ramshal writes, it is like pregnancy.
Appears pregnant. Woman is walking, laughing,
You
sitting.
don't feel anything. Suddenly in the city one day, contractions start and everything.
What is
what is this?
It's redemption.
October 7th,
Now what you're working on
2003, 3 men
is
were
the dream of
detained.
cutting off impurity.
Because even at first the Lord, the God of hosts, said, trimming the fruitful and the extraordinary, all this is one matter.
It's stuff.
Are the trees and the ministers of the nations. And that's what's written at twisted level. To cut off, this is heard. A huge problem that must be resolved immediately by these senior officials. They don't realize it, but it's killing them. Because it's good from a military perspective. You abandon the commander, so the soldiers don't know what to do, but really everything is managed in the heavens, says the Ramchal. In the same second, we start seeing that senior officials, Shama's curve is broken for at the moment. How did the minister die here? Now there is a targeted killing. They send a plane, an unmanned aircraft. No, it doesn't work that way. First of all, his minister was killed by repentance, by prayers, through everything that the people of Israel do, and afterwards,
yes, there is
approval from heaven and divine assistance, and a military force was sent and eliminated him. So he says, and the tall ones are cut down, and the high ones will be humbled. After the big curve drops, after many ministers step down, you know how much joy I had. What's it called? The name of Iran. Only on the plane with 5 other seniors. You don't know, you don't understand Kabbalah. It's such a great joy. This is a defeat, the beginning of their downfall. The moment their officers fall, they say, Kabbalists, this is the beginning of the downfall, and this is what the Ramcha says. Then the high ones will be humbled. What is it? This is the nations themselves. At first they're ministers, and then the nations themselves that are high and dominant. And we find that this body of ministers will fail, and the heavens will be revealed like a book. Why? Because the shell problems of to grasp the holiness outside. And the moment the shells ruled, and that's what's happening, the whole border, where the border will ignite, the border was assist, and what's happening now on the northern border. So this is the Kedusha. We are called the Kedusha. The moment they experienced an uprising, what happened? The sanctity spread outside. And then what happens is that the high place stays for a moment, and this is the big danger now, because now there are 50,000 people. They are like Hezbollah's riflemen. This is not something we can allow, so now we are eating.
Calculate war for me.
We need to prepare for Milos. So in the home front command there are laws. Soon you will probably say them, start saying the laws also about the sightings, do this, do that. Hey, and we are from here. We're coming here, the home front command of Spiritual Channel 2000, the main source of life and existence. Every son, he will arm himself with justice in prayer to take the tefillin out of the closet. For people who don't wear tefillin, I can't appreciate it. So the Zohar writes an interpretation. Tefillin, the binding of the straps. We bind them with heat.
I love you
we
so
sing
much.
The songs of Hezbollah, the songs of Iran, the songs of... I don't want to go into the bigger context. I'm a scientist about Russia, about what will happen here with North Korea. I am not even getting into the end of Gogo Magniv. I'm talking to you now. We're at the beginning. In the beginning, says the Holy Zohar, this knot of prayer is tied with the Samach Mem, and it has great intentions of devastation, etc., etc. That's where the main work is. The Kabbalists say, after all, what did Goliath do?
Why Goliath?
Every morning he would come and blaspheme for 40 days and 40 nights. He would blaspheme and curse the systems of God in Israel, the places say, to counsel them in the case of morning prayers. Why? Because during the morning Shema prayer, we subdue the enemy. Do you understand what I'm talking about? This
Here again. More
that they
battlefields.
are not known to humanity at all, and their
There, Matan was
battles.
silent.
Someone asked me, Rabbi, why is there such an inclination for the morning poison? Why? I am like a stone. I can't get up in the morning. Why is it like this all the time? I only wake up after the time for saying Shema has passed. I told him that the reading of your prayers and your prayer is important. You are probably a high soul and there is great significance in your prayer. You are going to benefit the entire people here. You also need to know about this thing. We immediately made it unique to this time. We did something without Eden. The Holy Citizen in the rectifications estimates that through the bindings and the recitation of the Shema, we sacrifice to Satan and as if them. So another one Shema and another one Shema, another one will start inflating tefillin. And also to check the mezuzahs in the houses, dear brothers and sisters. Hundreds of people come to me for consultations. I tell you, over 50%. From troubles and problems, I discover through the Holy Spirit that there are defective mezuzahs in houses. And in general, sometimes there's not even a mezuzah in the house. I will tell you stories here, dozens of stories, unbelievable but true. And he guards the gates of Israel. Isafil, AB, the Rebbe of Lubavitch, AB, he wouldn't start talking to a person with troubles without first checking the tefillin and mezuzahs, just like that. And I'll tell
And
you,
even more for you.
in my friends' love at my place, I keep telling everyone to check. Suddenly I'm sitting in the living room. I woke up because of this. Wait, I'm telling everyone to check. I also need to check my mezuzahs.
Who's the target?
I removed all the mezuzot, one mezuzah in one of the rooms. One of the children who was suffering from inflammation in the hand, and another one had a problem with inflammation in the hand. We did not understand from here an inflammation in the hand. In the end, there was one mezuzah. It seems that the heat caused the letters to stick to your hand. There was one mezuzah, unfortunately. We sorted it out, thank God, and now his hand doesn't hurt anymore. The inflammation in his hand is gone. Sometimes when he
Trust the
hints at
weak.
these things, then check the mezuzah. Prepare with charity, prayer, keeping the Sabbath, dear brothers and sisters, for the sake of God.
Why?
What am I asking? Hey.
Great love.
Keeping Shabbat, fighting for keeping Shabbat, I don't know. Take a pill. One of the interesting things is she can't give me like this. I mean, pill for my eyes. Linol Shabbat, chill on Shabbat with the people. Do not kindle fire in any of your dwellings on the Sabbath, but unfortunately we kindle fire. The entire north is burning. Do not desecrate the Sabbath, accept the sovereignty of the Blessed One. How much the Kashba wants to already bring the border
He is
and the
boiling,
redemption, and when destruction
squeaking and
comes, we will
comparing.
enter a place of peace, of resurrection, of prophecy.
This is
Total is arriving. It's a shame that everyone won't be together. Listen to what the composer says.
artist.
And you gather her legs to the place above until they no longer cling from her.
Voila.
At the moment of sanctity.
And you
That
eulogized.
means it is a deep process happening now in the world where the external forces are being cut off. I don't want to go into depth, but just so you know. The mystics say that
We
when
see
you
chaos.
plant what you see in the streets, everything you see in the cafe. I am not talking about peace for the hostages and their families who will be preserved and remembered, service of the commander.
From this perspective,
To hug and kiss their loved ones very soon with the help of God. May He speak and deliver all the captives to their home in peace. Remember the holy loves. I'm talking about who wrote on it. I'm talking about who creates hate, who creates division among the people. I'm talking about those handful of people come and bring all the evil here and spill it in the streets.
enough.
This terrible and dreadful thing, it brings us hard and bitter things. The people of Israel want to be in peace. They want to be united, so there are parties, there are different opinions, but you can't keep flipping the whole country every time the right wing comes to power. It doesn't work that way.
There is a nation here.
Nonsense.
There is
You
a...
say this is democracy, so what is it? Is all democracy a lie? So now...
This is what happens when you act out like
that's
this.
what the Kabbalists explain.
You're making me
for
hungry.
after.
She will be eradicated. She will overcome.
It
Which-
means like a person, before he goes, he receives additional spiritual strength. There will be a gathering, Moshe from Shimon. The addition of spirit by Manan creates a situation. Sometimes when a person already leaves this world, it means sometimes there is an intensification. We have talked about this a few times. The intensification of darkness is before a great light. Now the intensification of disputes, the mess, everything is coming out. There are disputes in homes, I'm telling you, they come to me. You need to know to be wise. Wait a little until this cycle of disputes passes. It reaches every home in the country. It's up to the people themselves. They need to be strong. We are in a wave. May the Holy One, blessed be He, is shaking up the world in this light. God forbid, we need to be strong. Hold your chest, as Rabbi El-Kohen said about fasting. In the future, there will be a state of Messiah coming, says Rabbi Hanan Wasserman. I said it here on the broadcasts. And he says, a situation will come that the trial of Mount Carmel will repeat itself with Elijah the prophet, who said, God help, you know the story. Answer me, let it fall from the heavens. Answer me so that it does not perish in an act of sorcery. And there Elijah, the prophet, called out, and the people shouted, the Lord is God, the Lord is God. You remember this is the period of the Baal prophets. And then Elijah said to them, how long will you waver between two opinions? This is another program we need to do about Passover on both clauses. It's both God and the other side, both the holiness, also within the impurity, also the holiness. Eat salad and
Do
the
their
prophet
work.
and
It is so.
sacrifices. Do you know the story?
Mira was
Asman said
elected.
that fire came down for Elijah the prophet, and everyone shouted the name of God. He says there will be a test in the end of days when the fire will come down for the wicked.
The ceremonies
What trials, says
in the
Hablachan, how
Summa.
to prepare
What is
that.
this
He
presidency?
says, what is this fire? It is success. The way of the wicked prospers. Sometimes I say to a person, look, everything is fine. Look, this does it like this. He is like that. He succeeds. The way will go out for you.
But here we have seen, due to our many sins, I told them in the
From
lesson,
the Holy Book of Zohar, Saturday night, I told them, look, people stayed at home an hour before October 7th. The day before, everyone was sitting, laughing, talking. Who would have dreamed that the next day her son would already be in captivity in Gaza? When it awoke all the family, not a trace of people from Chelm remained.
suddenly from a kibbutz, blooming and happy and rejoicing
Quiet,
from within.
tranquility, pastoral. Suddenly, after a few hours, everything turned upside down.
Everything is spilled.
But everything, what a thing.
This
Who
is
dreamt,
miraculous.
Who dreamt of these things? We weren't ready until now. Now we are ready.
Aggressive. Now we are before.
North, everyone knows it, and everyone.
In the celebrations.
What weapon shall we prepare? The army will prepare. God will make Eden do as heard, but we will disappear in prayer, in crying, in charity. That's what he says. So what will happen in the days to come? The holiness will gather its feet, and there will be no more nourishment for the outsiders. Then things went in a big way. In the beginning, there will be the storm of complication and mixing that prevented resolution. Initially, there will be a state of separation. There will be no mixing of holiness and impurity. And this is the boiling that our group is boiling. The earth is boiling, distinguishes between the twin of holiness, also among the nations of the world. Now look, see what is happening. Among the nations of the world, now everyone knows that Hamas is evil, like ISIS. Now Hezbollah is also starting to become clear. Let's say today it's a war. Iran is now starting to reveal its intentions and everything. Now all the nations of the world already know. Now even in the whole world, they are starting to be involved in wars in places far from us, not related to us. This is what he says. Then the complication and the mix that prevented a fix. What prevented a fix? When impurity and holiness are mixed, it prevents correction. Why? The impurity derives from holiness, so it does not perish, it has life. This is exactly what happened to us with Gaza. We give them money. It has water pipes coming to them, water beds, so they live, so they bloom, so they get more wicked, so they get more organized, and more tunnels and everything that happened to us, what we received. We already received the result of the impurity from the holiness. We did the land of Israel. This is the Holy Land. And we gave them life. And these lives, they came. I heard that now it will be published. The doctor who saved Iris in January, a wicked person, will be repaid. With God's help, we will soon hear about his death. Zahi, the one him says, holding a picture, someone told me. He holds a picture of his nephew in his hand. He says, I saved him and he killed my nephew. This is exactly what they said. Anyone who is kind to the cruel will end up being cruel to the kind. there was no need to save him. It's because it turns out that there will be no more strength left for the peel, and then you will see the peel has surrendered, and love a holy answer, and gather home to the place, and then they will return. This is also a hint about the north, as we talked about. We said here they will return home, clear everything, organize everything with God's help, both in the south and in the north. You know, I was in, actually at Rabbi Abba's place. He is in the chair, and the Romans ruled. So I told the dear Jew, my dear son-in-law, Avi Daniel, who is taking me, it's more hunger, what's left of Rome. There's nothing, what's left of Greece, what's left of the nations of the world, nothing. We will stay here, we will win, we are the eternal nation, we will receive our righteous Messiah, we will be here with the Messiah, with the resurrection of the dead, with everything written by the prophets. Look, we are now experiencing the prophecies together, what the prophets wrote. We are now experiencing birth pangs, but we will also experience births. And the joy of the covenant, it's like a bad woman. And we will rest on the holy Sabbath. It's like the pressure before Sabbath, and then on Sabbath, peace upon you, singing, sitting together. That means just as we suffer now, we shall rejoice in the same way. And about this it is written, we were happy because we were liberated, then our mouths will be full of laughter and our tongues with joy. Then they will say, among the nations, the Lord has done great things with us. Just as we suffer, we also continue to suffer. We now know how to be the happiest on earth. Just the question I'm asking, how will the girl be? How will the redemption come? Will it come with mercy or judgment? We didn't start well. We started towards the car in life, expensive responsibilities. We started towards the car. If we needed such a shock that a meeting in October, the spiritual state in the Holy Land is not good, period. It is impossible, it is impossible, it is impossible to sweep this under the rug. What? The situation had been good, it wouldn't have happened. There would have been divine assistance, they would have been revealed. Forces would have come straight away, killed everyone. Why did it stop on hostages in such a tangle of prohibitions? The entire people of Israel are part of this because our spiritual state is not good now before the north. Let's improve the spiritual state, and that's what he's saying. Send home to its place, and then Israel will strengthen within. And the power of the shills will not help at all. And they will not be able to be included in the high assembly and will wither away on their own. And all their army will be a waste. Here it is explicitly. It's like now in Gaza. If we are wise, we will stop their water, stop what we help them with, stop the money, stop everything. Slowly, slowly they will wither and they are lost. But if we allow them funds and give them the prayer and they help them and they help them.
So you are growing this.
And like now with Lebanon, some time ago, I don't know, we gave them gas spots.
What a crazy, crazy day.
Grontes, this is your neighbor who dressed up as these leaders and confused them. What do you think? Even during the time of Gush Katif, what did you think happened there? Our sins are with him.
And all the leaders got confused.
Drivers, they gave it to them just like that. And when they gave it to them, they gave them a sacred place, a region of holiness, and then it was taken over and they drew from this place.
There is no line.
Why should I say, dear brothers and responsibilities, that's the remez now. I want to move on to the holy jailer. Listen carefully. Everything I just said is grounded in the Holy Zohar. I am not making things up. Listen carefully. What I am going to tell you now is not just about the north. This also concerns every Jewish man and woman. We are going through transformations here. The people of Israel go through hardships. I tell you, people come to me for such things. Sometimes I get home totally exhausted and I simply have no strength left. Just from hearing, just from understanding what the people of Israel are going through, what difficult things and issues in soul and body, unbelievable. So he is going to give guidance to the whole management team, those who are complexly paired, those who have financial problems, those who have marital problems, houses. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. Satan center. Between us, no one at homes, it drives people crazy. Enters homes, it's really demons. They enter the homes and make the household peace. And people don't know this. Wait a moment until the anger passes. Don't rush to divorce. And not everyone who gives the best offer.
Keep going. Inject him. Help.
Sometimes people go through tough times. Sometimes the husband gets a little crazy. What can you do? The situation here is very difficult. especially when people are within impurities, within shells, then the mind sometimes goes crazy. So she thinks, no, now he'll stay like this all his life. That is not true. Sometimes it's just a phase. You need to calm down. The same thing happens with the wife. Listen to what the Holy Zohar says.
The Zohar passes.
I want to see things inside. It's in Parashat Vayera, on page 19, column 2. Listen to what the Holy Zohar says. Terrible and dreadful things.
He is deciding in the sacred area.
Rabbi Yitzhak began, and he brings a verse from Job. He overturns his situations with his schemes. And in this holy manner, the Holy One, blessed be He, is changing circumstances to actions. A group in the street spinning around the world, and with her pure priest to perform her service. Golbata from Hephalon and Avdalon in another aspect. That is to say, says the Holy Zohar, the Holy One, blessed be He. Through the actions, we will soon see our actions down here. He changes things, meaning now from judgment to mercy. Suddenly now we can see now with God's help. Everything suddenly changes, and we are winning in Lebanon by miracles and wonders, and here nothing happens at all, and all the paranoia they made us is not paranoia. Nothing is happening here, and there are no problems with electricity and no problems at all. This is a cycle. And with what? How is it happening? His schemes, the father of our schemes, is turning tricks to make a window. Blessed is he who makes all the turns. Brings here, puts there, places on Biden's head like this, puts this for him like that, turns, does all these turns. To everlast, why forever last? In humans it remains. Here is Rabbi Jonathan. This is what we talked about. This is what we talked about before the show. In the actions of humans, we will determine this shift. Where will it go now? Justice or mercy?
It's happening
Where
now.
our work is. How much we labored and worked, but they turn it into the same thing privately by woman. And from what I didn't do, I went here, I went here, I went here. So there are 18 candles. I don't know what she told me. I was at the grave of an olive tree, not in Azibug.
Death will tell me by next week. She tells me, no, it's hard for me. What? Are you lighting candles? Understood.
We want to break free. We want to transform into mercy. He is still in the land of sustenance. He now wants to shake up the world systems, turn everything into his own abundance. He needs a transformation in his personality, a transformation in his behavior. Measure for measure is not the right time. Then the gates open. That is what. And all who stand on the face of the earth at the age of working for Leveni, everything that appears here in the world, everything that appears now in the Third Lebanon War, it all depends on what we do. And Ma'adi is an official for him covering the world. Rabbi Elazar said, and he becomes entangled for reasons. The Holy One, blessed be He, arranges cycles, and I used to work in the world to sustain it and to nullify the importance of leadership, to call for the joy of the slaves, a happy code and a transformation for him. And now the person is walking thinking, that's it, it's over. Look at the mess. He has 130,000 precise missiles. And we're here in a dire situation with electricity. And I tell you, the Holy Zohar, he twists it with their schemes. Any guy can create a situation where not a single hair will fall from the hairs.
Topic about Jews